Good morning, Galway. The time is 11:02 a.m. and I interrupt our Irish Eurovision retrospective. That was a little bit unplanned, but hey, it's Wednesday, it's all Irish music, and how else was I going to find it? No dust in the turkey, because, I do have some standards. But let me just say that I am absolutely delighted to get to the interview that I was mentioning earlier, and unfortunately I didn't manage to pull off the fake arms prank that I said that I would, but hey, we'll save that for the next one. I am absolutely delighted to be joined by two people who are helping build comedy throughout the country, and it's something that has always been close to my heart. Is in the big cities, we're able to get some pretty great comics. I think as a country, we tend to punch above our weight when it comes to that. And it's really great when I see projects like this that are not only moving comedy to the smaller towns, but also encouraging local acts. So I'm joined by two people from Redline. So thank you very much, Enda and Cathal. First of all, why don't you tell us about what Redline comedy is on an overall point of view? I obviously just gave a bit of an overview. What have you guys achieved sort of up to now?
Thanks William for having us. Redline comedy, it's it's a passion project. First of all, it was actually the brainchild of Cathal here. Cathal approached me and was just saying, geez, we need to add another string to the bow of the comedy in the West, give people another platform to perform on, and also for something enjoyable ourselves. Some lads at our age might go and start playing five-a-side again. We just said we'll continue the old comedy, But we started Redline Comedy Club in Busker Brownes in Galway City, and it's gone strength to strength. We've sold out every show so far. We're bringing a mix of acts that are well established, some that are maybe about to make it big, and some that are very well established and well known. We're also just adding another string to that Galway bow, because Galway is famous for its entertainment. But then, and I'll let Cathal talk more about this, we're bringing shows outside the country, like you mentioned, outside the county, like you mentioned, and to towns that maybe not have regular comedy going on as well. And we're just kind of really being creative around that. So we were down in Roscommon, we did a theatre show as Redline, and Cathal might tell you more about that, because that was Cathal's baby.
Yeah, so we would have gone in last year as part of the Culture Night. 2024 we would have gone in. We kind of did a smaller kind of pub venue there, probably fit around 60-70 people. The organisers then this year, Mary Finn, then she turned around to us then later this year and was like, oh, would you prefer to actually do the theatre this year? Because obviously that was full last year, and she said she thought we could sell out the Roscommon Arts Centre, so that was about a 200-seater. So that sold out this year, so it was last Thursday. So we had, we obviously brought acts in then from around the country again. So we had the four of us, myself and Sean Ryan and Ken Lindsay. We also had Fiona Mahoney, Judy Gillen and Terry Markey, and then we had the headliner Kevin McGahern. So obviously from Traders Uncloaked, he came down then the headline tonight, but it was great success really, and even from the feedback we got from that, the Arts Centre were looking to do other gigs now going forward, kind of comedy like that, kind of compilation shows, as opposed to they were very used to one comedian going in, doing their hour show, going again. And that was one thing we found even last year, was a lot of people even come to me afterwards, and they had never even been to a kind of comedy show like that in a pub setting where let's say you could get a pint in between the acts and stuff. They were so used to just going in the theatre, sitting down. So to even be able to bring that to the likes of Roscommon was really great.
Yeah, because it is something that I've always believed. My involvement with comedy was always through, say, college and students. So, we were very much everyone gets together and it's just, having the fun. But venues that are different like that, it's funny because I think in other countries it's maybe more normalized to do shows like that and have venues like that, where there is maybe this, I don't know if it's a stigma, but that comedy should be happening in the town hall theatre, or on a stage in that sort of sense. And that's why I love hearing about sort of that grassroots of comedy in places like Buskers, in the Arts Centre, which 200 seats, lads, that's nothing to talk down. That's very impressive. And it is one of those things as well, like you said, with people who have never been to comedy in that setting, is because the comedy's just not being put on in that setting. It's people, the hunger for comedy is there more than ever, surely. And like, have you noticed anything like that in that sense? Now, I may be talking about how grim the news is, and I use it as an escape. But have you noticed what's the uptake been like from people beyond the beyond just the venue, but as well as that, even say further afield from the city, out in Roscommon, would there have been much besides that?
Nothing really. Like in terms of like, let's say like stand up, like I would have done a show 2 years ago. Now again, it's trying to find the right room. Like this time we went into a pub, a kind of long pub, very hard to do. There was people sitting there that weren't there for the comedy, which is fair enough, but it was just kind of mix like that. Whereas then the following year we kind of found a better venue, and then the art centre. But like, I think even you look there, like it just depends. I think if you have the space there, I think you can make it work. Any town really, like even we look like Tom O'Mahony's done down, and you did that gig. If you want
to, no, and people have come up after gigs, and in particular in Roscommon, and thanked us, like going, wow, like fair play to you for even thinking of bringing it down here, and that was like Cottle's idea for that one. But like you said, Tom O'Mahony's running a great club down in Cahir in Tipperary, right, which historically wouldn't be a town for that kind of entertainment, and he's running an absolute blast of a comedy club down there that is always sold out. He's bringing great names there, but it's just for Tom's passion. And I think what we have, there's four of us, myself, Cottle, then there's Sean Ryan, as Cottle said, and Ken Lindsay, and we add a compilation of skills. I think that's really helps. Like Ken's an unbelievable designer, and I don't know, have you seen any of our stuff on media or online or even our posters? Like that's Ken's eye, his design. We might talk about it, but he makes it and puts it into visual. And then like outside of being a great comedian, Ken and Sean are great comedians. Myself and Cottle and Sean and Ken, we have fun doing it. What people have said to us after our shows is they can tell we have fun doing it. They're going, we actually feel the crack off you, that it's not a nervous endeavour, that it's four lads who become friends because of comedy and are putting that through the end product, and people are feeling it. So people aren't uncomfortable. They're going, oh my God, I had a great night. I didn't spend a fortune. I laughed my behind off for an entire night, and I just want to come back. And we've found that people are just coming back, and they're literally telling us they want to come back. So we're just trying to keep the train running. And then you have skills like Sean, the love that we put into it. Sean built our stage. He's got that kind of skill in himself, which I wouldn't build Lego. And so we have the mix of all those skills, and when we bring it all together, I think people can see our pride, but they also see the funny, and that is the important thing. And performers are seeing that too. So now we're attracting performers from all over the country. People like Tom, like Cottle said, people like Madeline, who's going to be on our next show, a whole host of comedians who are taking note, going, hey lads, we kind of like what you're up to there. Like any chance that we can come and join you? And we're just like open arms, absolutely.
Speaking of your next show, it's coming up quite soon, I believe.
Next Thursday. So next Thursday, Busker Brownes. So we've an earlier start time this time around at 8 o'clock. Our doors at 8 o'clock, show starting at 8:30, and there's the four of us, so myself, Enda, Sean, Ken, and we also have Madeline Munford headlining it, and
John Mulligan as well
from Limerick.
John's a Limerick comedian, and he runs night and twilight Thursdays down in Limerick City as well, Four Corners Comedy Club, and it's a very well got comedy club as well. And like that, we're with the Sligo lads, the Limerick lads, the Cork lads, and comedians around the country. Again, we're trying to add a string to the bow, make it be part of a community, but also bring the West together. The West is, it's a big entity, and you've got a great group up in Sligo there. There's great lads in Limerick and Cork and everywhere, and we're Galway's here kind of in the centre of the West, and we're kind of just trying to kind of bring everyone together and kind of make comedy in the West exciting, and like you said, bring it to Roscommon, Longford, bring it to places that might not necessarily have it all of the time.
Exactly, and that sort of like it is of course necessary to still centralize on larger populations and that sort of sense, but that's why I love that your focus isn't just solely on that. It's not just about finding the busiest spot in town in that sort of regard, especially because, like you said there, when you're bringing it to places that are new and stuff like that, there are so many people out there who just can't make it to the comedy that's on right now because of distance, time, whatever. There's nobody who's deciding between one show and the other. Everybody I know for comedy wants to go to as much as they can in that sort of sense. And now, you were saying that you do monthly shows, but I do also happen to know that this month you're a little bit busier than that. Am I right?
Yeah, exactly. This is the first month we're putting on 2 shows, and like that, it's just we've gotten a little bit of fever, and we've gotten a lot of people who want to do the shows. So we're putting on a bonus show nearer the end of October on the 23rd, and we have a very well known comic coming down. One of those people who reached out and was like, Jesus, I want to be part of the Red Line, and so Eric Lawler, people might know him as the villain in Fair City, and he's got a great podcast with Willa White, another comedian as well, and he does, he works for Joe.ie, and the lads are like really successful comedians. So Eric is coming down, lending us his absolute expertise for the show on the 23rd as well, and that will be a sold out show. There's no doubt about it. Like, Eric will draw a crowd, and again, it'll just be fun. You get your ticket, but you also get a free drink along with your ticket as well. So for people that would be worried that a night of comedy might break the bank, it won't. Like, we are also trying to make it accessible for casual comedy fans as well, because some people are going, do I like comedy? Do I know who these people are? And then they come and they have an unreal night, and we feel like that's another person converted, not to sound like a cult, but that's another person going, actually, comedy's a real good option for a night out. So look, that's 2 shows, next Thursday the 9th and Thursday the 23rd. You'll see it on Redline and all our media and all that kind of stuff, and we hopefully have a few tickets for you to plug for us.
Oh, perfect. If you're listening live, you can check out our social media and the website, where we will have all the links to the Eventbrite pages and Redline's social media. If you're listening in between shows, well, then you're probably on the page already, so have a look at those. Guys, thank you so much for coming in and telling us all about this. I want to quickly remind everyone that the 2 shows coming up are on the 9th of October and the 23rd of October. Both of those buskers?
Yep, both buskers, yeah.
So the details will be there, and I always say that I hope to see people again, but before you guys leave, I'll probably make sure that you promise to come back again to promote more stuff, because it has been great, and it's been years since I've been in the comedy scene, and I have such a love for it in a nostalgic way. So it's great to be able to contribute to it, but as well as that, when it comes to community radio and what it sounds like you guys are doing is building a comedy community. And when you were talking there about the stages and the different things people brought to it, that's what's so amazing. And just if that's the sort of philosophy you have to run in the shows, I can only imagine how that applies on the lineups as well. So I'm really excited, lads. Thanks for joining us, and I can't wait to attend both of those shows.
And thanks for
having us. Yeah, thanks a million.
It is 11:15 a.m. We're going to go back to the music now, and let me double check. I'm going to do my best not to give you guys any more Eurovision. They got 15 minutes of it before you guys came in. We curated it, but it's still Eurovision. You know what I mean? So we're going to just put it back into the jazz for now. And
Johnny Logan.
Yeah, he was number 2. We'll put it back into the jazz for now. When I come back, we'll have community highlights, and after that we'll be back to the all Irish Wednesday music. So you're listening to GOCOM Radio, the people's voice, and I am the host of the breakfast show, Jason Brown. Cheers for that, lads.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
All right. So now